And Ayoze Perez released by
Oh my
Leicester
God,
as
please.
well.
No. We've had this conversation for months, and every time Perez's name or his future gets brought up, you're like, "Let's bring him back."
Whoa, I wouldn't say I'm that optimistic about it.
You've brought it up on this podcast many times.
Twice.
If it was up to me, we wouldn't have brought it up. Really?
Twice? Is
Really?
this?
This is.
But my point being, it's just quite astonishing to see how far he's fallen off, and £30 million and just released. And what's happened at Leicester's, they've let a lot of expensive players go. Obviously, going out the Championship hasn't helped. The situation of having so many out of contract definitely aided their fall in the Championship. But look, a lot of people on Twitter, and I'm not saying I necessarily agree with this, but talking about that home trained rule, however you want to pronounce it, about obviously the Champions League squad, bringing someone like Perez back. If Newcastle don't want to go out and spend loads of money on a third striker because they know it might be a little bit difficult to keep that striker happy because you're going to be behind Wilson and Isak if they stay fit, do you go to someone like Perez, who didn't necessarily leave in the best of circumstances, force his way to Leicester, but who would probably be quite happy coming to sit on the bench, being called upon when he's needed, which probably wouldn't be that often if the other two stay fit? Does he fill a gap for what Newcastle United need right now?
Do you think he fills the gap for what they need right now?
Well, I would like them to go and spend 20, 30 million pound on another top class striker, but then that leads you to how do you keep him happy? But if we're talking about them having to cut their cloth accordingly, not Ayoze Perez specifically, but do you look at someone who's in a situation who will accept he doesn't come into play first team football, he doesn't play every single week, but still has enough talent that when he's added on at 75 minutes, there's still a threat of him grabbing a goal?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why, at the Chronicle, obviously last week or the week before, we reported about Lucas Moura. That didn't maybe get the best reaction from fans because of how that ended for him, but he's just been released from Spurs. He can still do a job. I mean, he showed that in the last day of the season. They've got to shop clever. They've got to look at that low market and the free agent market. But I just think not for me on Perez.